In an age before skyscrapers kissed the clouds and before life's rhythm became a frantic digital hum, there nestled a small American town called Willow Creek. It was a place woven from quiet streets, warm smiles, and a simple, powerful belief that people should always help each other. But within the heart of this town lies a story. A story that America seems to have slowly, quietly forgotten. It's the story of an old candle maker named Samuel Hart. Samuel wasn't a man of great wealth or fame. He didn't own a grand shop on the main street. His world was a humble wooden cabin, its shelves lined with candles he crafted with his own two hands. Samuel lived by a simple, profound philosophy. A single flame can save a life. And one bitter, cold winter, the universe decided to put his belief to the ultimate test. That year, the winter arrived with a vengeance. One night, a monstrous snowstorm descended upon Willow Creek. It wasn't just snow, it was a blizzard that howled like a wounded beast. The wind screamed through the valleys. Ancient trees groaned and crashed to the ground, and in an instant the entire town was plunged into an unnerving, absolute darkness. The power was gone. Silence, thick and heavy, fell over Willow Creek, broken only by the storm's fury. Fear began to creep into every home. In the sudden blackness, children started to cry, their small voices trembling in the cold. Homes that were once warm and safe grew frigid and foreboding. The community was isolated, cut off, and utterly vulnerable. And then, just as despair began to take hold, a soft, warm light flickered to life in the middle of the street. It was Samuel. The old candle maker, bundled against the biting wind, was walking from door to door, his arms cradling a large wooden box filled to the brim with the very candles he had spent his life making. He didn't knock to ask for money. He didn't request a single thing in return for his efforts. At every doorstep, braving the deep snow and the relentless cold, he offered a simple gift and spoke the same gentle words. "Here, this will keep you warm tonight." The effect was like a miracle unfolding in slow motion. One small candle flame became 10. 10 soon became 100. Before long, a constellation of tiny lights dotted the town. In every home in Willow Creek, a small flame was now burning brightly, pushing back against the oppressive dark. Something incredible began to happen. Drawn by the gentle glow, families gathered around the candles. They shared what little food they had. They dusted off old stories to entertain their children, their faces animated by the flickering light. Neighbors who had lived side by side for years, but had never truly spoken, now found themselves sitting together, sharing warmth and conversation. The storm outside was a raging, powerful force of nature, but the warmth building inside the houses, the warmth of human connection, was stronger. Samuel's candles did more than just bring light. They brought unity. They reminded a town lost in darkness that they were not alone. They were a community. For 3 long days and nights, the storm raged, but the lights inside Willow Creek never went out. Finally, the winds calmed, the snow stopped falling, and the sun broke through the clouds, casting a brilliant, hopeful light over the transformed landscape. The power hummed back to life. The familiar sounds of the town returned. Life, it seemed, was going back to normal. But the people of Willow Creek were not the same. They felt changed. The shared experience, the vulnerability they had faced together in the darkness, had shown them something profoundly important. That hope is not just a feeling, but an action, and that it survives and even thrives when it is shared. Filled with immense gratitude, the townspeople made their way to Samuel's small cabin to thank the man who had saved them. They wanted to tell him how his simple act of kindness had reignited their own spirits. But when they arrived, the cabin was quiet. All they found was a note, carefully pinned to his wooden door. It read, "The world forgets quickly, but kindness lasts longer than any flame. Keep the light alive." Samuel was gone. He had quietly left the town he had illuminated, slipping away as humbly as he had lived. No one in Willow Creek ever saw him again, but his legacy, the lesson he taught them, burned brightly for generations. Today, we live in a different America. We have lights everywhere, brilliant cities that never sleep, shining screens in the palm of our hands, and an endless stream of noise and information. We have more light than we could ever need. But sometimes, in the middle of all that overwhelming brightness, we forget the simple things. A candle, a neighbor, a single quiet moment of kindness. This is the old story America forgot, the story of how one man with a box of candles brought an entire town together and reminded them of what truly matters. In our fast-paced, brightly lit world, maybe it's time to remember it again. Thank you so much for watching and sharing this story with me. If it touched your heart, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more stories that remind us of the light within. Until next time, keep the light alive.